The moment that changed everything. The rain fell softly that evening, wrapping the campus in a silver mist. The sky was bruised with clouds, and the scent of wet earth lingered like a quiet promise. Aisha walked briskly, clutching her books close, her dupatta fluttering in the cool wind. She had always loved the rain, though tonight it felt different. Heavier, lonelier. She stopped under the old oak tree, the one everyone called the silent witness. It had seen countless confessions, heartbreaks, and unspoken stories. And that's where she saw Arman. Tall, calm, and lost in thought, his shirt slightly damp, his hair dripping with rain. Their eyes met, just for a second. But in that second, the world seemed to pause, like the universe was holding its breath for them. Running away from the rain again? He teased softly, a half smile curling on his lips. Aisha tried to smile back, but her heart was racing. "No, just running from bad luck," she replied, her voice quieter than she intended. He stepped closer. Not too close, but close enough for her to feel his warmth in the cold air. They had been friends for months, sharing laughter, secrets, and dreams. But neither of them had ever crossed that invisible line. Until that night. Aisha turned to leave when a sudden gust of wind blew her dupatta off her shoulder. Arman instinctively caught it, his fingers brushing hers for a fleeting moment. Time froze. The rain fell harder, drumming softly on the leaves above. Their eyes locked again. Longer this time. Deeper. And before she could say a word, he leaned forward, hesitated, and pressed a gentle, stolen kiss on her forehead. It wasn't planned. It wasn't spoken. It was a moment of pure, trembling emotion. The kind of moment that changes everything. Aisha's breath caught. Her heart thudded painfully against her chest. She didn't speak. She just stood there, eyes glistening with rain and surprise. "I'm sorry," Arman whispered, stepping back, guilt flickering across his face. "I shouldn't have..." But she stopped him. "Don't," she said softly. "Some moments don't need apologies." The rain poured harder, and they both smiled through it, unsure of what this meant, but knowing something had begun. Something secret. Something real. After that rainy evening, nothing was ever the same. Aisha and Arman still met every day. In class, in the library, by the same old oak tree. But now there was a quiet current between them. Something invisible yet undeniable. They didn't speak about that night. Not once. But every glance, every accidental touch, every shared smile carried the weight of it. Arman had always been the calm one, the kind who'd rather listen than speak. Yet now, he found himself watching Aisha more closely. The way she tucked her hair behind her ear when she was nervous. The way her eyes softened when she smiled. The way she would write in her notebook during breaks, lost in her world. He wanted to know what she wrote. One day, while she was away, she accidentally left her notebook behind in the library. Arman hesitated for a moment before curiosity won. He opened it, just one page, and froze. Sometimes the heart writes what the lips can never say. That night, under the rain, something changed. And I don't know if I should fight it or fall into it. He closed the notebook instantly, guilt rushing through him. But his heart was already racing. That night, he couldn't sleep. The next morning, Aisha noticed her notebook slightly moved from where she left it. When she looked up, Arman was already watching her from across the corridor. There was something in his eyes. Apology, maybe. And something else. Later that day, she found a folded note inside her book. No name, No handwriting she didn't already know by heart. Greater than, if falling is wrong, then let's fall carefully. Her breath caught. She pressed the note to her chest and smiled. The kind of smile that hides both fear and joy. From that day on, their world turned into a secret language. Notes tucked in books, glances that spoke entire paragraphs, laughter shared in silence. Everyone thought they were just close friends. No one knew that every time Aisha passed him a pen, her fingers lingered just a heartbeat longer. No one knew that Arman would walk her home, pretending it was coincidence, just to see her smile once more before sunset. Love had found them. Quietly, tenderly, and without warning. It was a secret they both guarded, but one their hearts could no longer hide. The weeks that followed were soft and magical, a secret rhythm only their hearts knew. But even the sweetest secrets can't stay hidden forever. It began with a whisper. Someone saw them, maybe in the library, maybe under the oak tree. And by the next morning, half the campus was buzzing with half-truths. Did you hear about Aisha and Arman? They were alone, again. She's changed, haven't you noticed? Aisha heard it first in the corridor. A few girls giggled as she walked past, their eyes heavy with gossip. She tried to ignore it, but their laughter cut deeper than she wanted to admit. That evening, she met Arman behind the art building, their usual quiet spot. She was silent, her eyes clouded. What happened? He asked softly. She hesitated. People are talking. Arman frowned. About us? Aisha nodded. They say things that aren't true. Her voice trembled, not from guilt, but from fear. Fear of being misunderstood, of losing the fragile peace they'd built. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. Let them talk, Aisha. They don't know what we have, but they'll never stop, she said, turning away. You know how this world is. A girl is always judged first. Arman's jaw tightened. He wanted to protect her, to shield her from every cruel word. But he also knew she was right. After that day, they met less often. Not because they wanted to, but because silence felt safer than being seen. Their messages became shorter. The laughter between them faded into cautious smiles. One afternoon, while leaving the library, Aisha saw Arman talking to another girl from their class, laughing, carefree, the way he used to with her. Her heart clenched painfully. She told herself it meant nothing. But that's the thing about love. It makes every small thing feel too big. That night, Arman texted her. Greater than you weren't there today. I missed you. She read it, smiled faintly, but didn't reply. For the first time, the distance between them wasn't physical. It was emotional, invisible, and terrifying. Aisha lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling, replaying that stolen kiss, those notes, that laughter. She wondered if secrets could survive the noise of the world. And far away, under the same sky, Arman sat alone, wondering the same thing. Days turned into weeks, and the once unbreakable rhythm between Aisha and Arman began to fade. Their messages grew shorter. Their meetings grew rarer. And between those unspoken pauses, something fragile began to crack. Aisha tried to focus on her studies, convincing herself it was just a phase, that Arman was busy, that love doesn't always need words. But sometimes, silence can feel like betrayal. It was a Friday afternoon when everything changed. She walked into the cafe near the campus, their place. The smell of coffee and rain still clung to the air. But instead of seeing an empty table waiting for her, she saw Arman, sitting across from that same girl from their class. They were laughing, their heads close, and for a moment Aisha forgot how to breathe. The cup she held slipped slightly in her hand, spilling a bit of coffee on her sleeve. Armand looked up, startled, eyes widening when he saw her. But she didn't stop. She just turned, walked out into the rain, and didn't look back. That night, he called. Once, twice, 10 times. She didn't answer. He sent a message. Greater than, "It's not what you think. Please just listen." She read it, but her heart was too tired to believe. For days, they didn't talk. The air between them grew heavy, filled with the weight of unsaid things. Every memory that once made her smile now felt like a quiet ache. Then one evening, a knock on her door. When she opened it, Armand stood there, drenched in rain, breathless, eyes desperate. "Aisha, please," he said softly. "I can explain." She hesitated, torn between anger and the ache of missing him. "Explain what, Armand? That you've moved on? That our secret wasn't worth protecting anymore?" He shook his head. "It wasn't like that. She just needed help with her project. I swear." But the trust that once came so easily now felt distant. She looked into his eyes, the same eyes that once promised forever. And for the first time, she couldn't read them. Tears filled her eyes, but she blinked them away. "Sometimes," she whispered, "love isn't destroyed by lies, but by doubt." And before he could say anything more, she closed the door, gently but firmly. Outside, the rain kept falling, just like it had the night their story began. But this time, it didn't feel like magic. It felt like goodbye. Months passed. The semester ended, and with it, the world Aisha and Armand once shared. He left for another city to finish his internship. She stayed behind, wrapping herself in silence and studies, pretending that moving on was easy. But some memories refused to fade, especially the ones that began with rain. Every time it rained, she felt that same ache, the smell of wet earth pulling her back to that night under the oak tree. She missed his voice, his calmness, the way he used to say her name as if it were something sacred. And yet, she never reached out. Then one evening, months later, she received a message from an unknown number. Greater than, "Still afraid of the rain?" Her heart stopped. It was simple, but she knew it was him. She stared at the screen for a long time before replying,